Welcome to the Father Matrix, where we discuss issues with men and fathers and help them get better outcomes to their custody battle. This video is about 10 steps that can help you at least get 50-50 custody. Full disclaimer though, 50-50 custody is not always the best solution, and in some cases, 50-50 custody can make things much worse for the children. Many fathers and mothers believe that the children are their physical property. While this was partially true under the law years ago, children today have a lot more rights and autonomy than they did before. Thinking of the children as yours just because they share half of your DNA doesn't make you a father any more than dropping off a load at your local sperm bank does. 50-50 shared custody means you have to physically be there for the child. If you're able to meet the criteria, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Firstly, you have to understand the battle you are up against. Entering a battle without understanding the rules of engagement is nothing more than a suicide mission. You most likely will get verbally abused by the judge because he or she has been incentivized to take custody away from you. I highly recommend you watch my video on the history of the custody battle and how it has evolved under the communist agenda of destroying the family, so people will need to rely more on government than solving the issues themselves. Realistically, you need to consider your situation and your soon-to-be ex-wife's situation. A typical 50-50 shared custody arrangement could be alternating weeks, a 2-2-3 schedule, where the first parent gets 2 days, the second parent gets 2 days, and then the first parent gets the children for 3 days, or a 2-2-5-5 schedule. Honestly, the less exchanges between the parents, the better it is for both the parents and the children. With 2-2-3 and 2-2-5-5 schedules, quite often the children don't know where they are supposed to be on what days. The lack of uncertainty can often cause issues with their social life and their schoolwork. If you can manage a week-on week-off alternating schedule, it provides the children with more stability. Finding a good lawyer is key. You need to find a lawyer with a good track record for helping fathers get 50-50 custody. Just like judges are incentivized to give custody to women and make fathers pay child support through the state system, what happens within the legal community can be quite shocking. Keep in mind, after your case is over, the lawyer may likely not even see you again. But even opposing lawyers will still meet for drinks after the trial to celebrate. Lawyers get paid win or lose. Years ago, when I was more active in the fathers' rights community, on several occasions, I personally called out lawyers who purposely tanked cases because they were offered partnership in big-time law firms. There is also the issue of case swapping, where lawyers who frequently oppose each other say, "I'll let you win this one if I can win the next." It's corrupt as hell. Once I complete my Dirty Deeds Lawyer Edition video, I will link it below. As one of my divorce lawyers once said, a good lawyer knows the law, a great lawyer knows the judge. Record and document everything, but don't tell anyone, not even your lawyer, until you are getting close to trial. Let's face it, we all know the cards are stacked against men in the court system. Men need every little bit of advantage they can get just to get 50-50. It would seem that in some states, in order for a mother to get less than primary residency, which quite frankly helps to alienate the father from the children's lives, the mother would have to be homeless, a drug addict, a mental patient, a child abuser, or currently in a correctional facility. And even then, the moment she gets out or rehabbed, all the corrupt social worker trolls come out of the woodwork to try to help her at least get 50-50. If, in your state, you can legally record phone calls between your ex and yourself, or if you know you are fighting a lot and divorce will be very likely, hide a video recorder somewhere. Maybe your ex is a drug addict and you record her getting high and passing out, beating your children, or telling the children what a bad father you are. Record it, document it, and store it away. Then, if your lawyer seems to have been honestly working to get you at least 50-50 custody, if not sole custody, let him know about the videos and other documents. Your lawyer will be able to tell you if those can be introduced as evidence or not, depending on where you live. Even if they can't be submitted as evidence, there are ways to get them discussed during the trial without officially submitting them as evidence. If your lawyer doesn't want to use those damning videos because he doesn't want to make your soon-to-be ex look bad, you need another attorney, fast. Beware of the guardian ad litems. If you don't know what a guardian ad litem is, well, it's essentially a lawyer or sometimes a social worker that functions as an investigator for the court to decide which house the children should live in. From my experience, these are again a corrupt extension of the feminist communist agenda that tries to find ways to take custody away from the father. The parents are forced to pay out of pocket for the services of the guardian ad litem, which could add another couple $1,000s to the already expensive divorce costs. Guardian ad litems will make recommendations during the investigation, and before his or her official report is provided. This could include making you attend co-parenting therapy for yourself or your child, and forcing you to undergo psychological evaluations at your own expense. Guardian ad litems also don't have to abide by the rules of hearsay, so your soon-to-be ex-wife can sneak in any dirty little lie about you and it won't have to be proven. She just needs to convince the guardian ad litem it's true. While the judge doesn't always accept the recommendation of the guardian ad litem, the final court orders are frequently not that far off. Again, keep in mind that even though you are paying for their services, they work for the court, not you. If you are forced to get a guardian ad litem for your custody battle, do the following. Focus the conversation about your current relationship with the kids, what you can provide for the children going forward, and refrain from bad-mouthing your ex. The guardian ad litem will label you a bad parent otherwise, and if your state allows for recording the conversation, do it. Holding corrupt guardian ad litems accountable when they purposely lie in court is something I take great pleasure in. Get your support system around you. Divorce and custody battles are a difficult time. You need to find out which of your friends and family are on your side. This could be for emotional support, but also to find potential witnesses that could explain to the court what they have seen your ex do, or to discuss the benefits of your parenting style over your ex's style. Credible character witnesses can be critical. Don't consider relocating anywhere that would force your children into a new school system, especially with the possibility of 50-50 custody. Children need stability. Divorce is already hard enough on kids, and the idea of moving them to a different school can have negative consequences both socially and academically. If it's more than 20 minutes away and it will make it more difficult for you to get them to school on your custodial days, your ex will be able to petition for primary residence to keep them in the school near her, and more than likely it will be granted. School systems are a business. The school will often function as a witness for your ex to help keep your child in that school, and keep those public funds flowing. And for the record, I am a former teacher that is now completely against public education. I guess I need to make a video about that one too. If the court system becomes too hostile to you, ask your lawyer about moving the divorce outside of the courts, and in with a referee or private judge that is more in favor of 50-50 custody. What happens is, sometimes retired judges go into private practice and take divorce cases on the side as more of an arbitrator. Both parties would need to agree to move the case over to a referee. The divorce proceedings could take place in a conference room instead of a courtroom, and the decision of the referee is binding. But the courtroom judge still needs to sign off on it. Again, each state may do things differently, so check to see if this is an option. Ultimately, you would want the referee to look at you both and say, "Stop being assholes to each other and learn to co-parent 50-50. Don't be afraid to change lawyers. Again, lawyers generally don't care about you. They get paid either way. But if you can clearly see that your lawyer is not motivated to fight for you, it could be a money issue, or your lawyer might have gotten a better offer to tank your case. I personally fired 4 different lawyers before I found one that was willing to fight. By the 3rd incompetent lawyer, I was filing my own motions with the court behind my lawyer's back, and then threw my lawyer under the bus in front of the judge. In the middle of one of the hearings, the judge stopped addressing my lawyer and talked directly with me instead. After the hearing, my lawyer pulled me into one of the conference rooms, threatening to quit if I pulled that stuff again. I saved her the trouble and fired her right on the spot. You have to understand that this is a game of chess, not checkers. Your ex's attorney and the courts will play dirty, so you have to stay 3 steps ahead of them. Know when they will make a move, know what moves they will make, and you have to formulate a defensive strategy. You also have to understand that sometimes the best defense is a strong offense. At one point, I was fighting against my ex, her attorney, the liberal school principal, my child's therapist, my ex's therapist, my ex's new boyfriend, the guardian ad litem, and a hostile judge with a Napoleonic complex that loved to abuse fathers in court. By the time I was done playing their game, the only ones left were my ex and her attorney, while the hostile judge with a Napoleonic complex was forced to sign the divorce decree based on another judge's decision. There is obviously more than 10 things I could have added here, but each case is different with different dynamics going on. If you have questions that I might be able to answer for you, my email is in the bio. Keep in mind, I cannot provide you legal advice. However, I can provide some life coaching advice mixed in with talking about some of the things I did on my own to get 50-50 custody and ultimately sole custody several years later. Well, on to the next video, guys. We have a lot of work to do. Stay vigilant and stay safe, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.